So first, let's show you this Russian army video.
Is he really about this on our military compared to Russia's military?
And whether you think it's propaganda or not, and we can have all of those debates, but what you're seeing is the Russian government is...
Whether you think it's propaganda or not.
I'm not a Willie Mac fan. It's 100%. It's 100% like rabid Destiny fans, dude.
Tenet reporter Taylor Hanson claimed YouTube banned him after indictment, but YouTube confirmed he deleted his own channel in an apparent attempt to hijack victimhood. YouTube responded this morning about 20 hours ago, or I guess this would have been yesterday night. Hi there, just wanted to jump in and clarify. The screenshot you shared shows a notice that we sent on September 5th after the termination of Tenet Media and associated channels, including a Taylor Hanson channel with 0 uploads or subscribers. It looks like a separate channel, Taylor USA, was deleted by its owner on September 6th.
Something good. I'm now going to show you an ad from the Russian army. And this video went viral, as I said, because somebody looped it together with an ad from the American army. And it's an incredible, just a truly incredible juxtaposition of the way one country behaves in a serious manner and in the way another country behaves, unfortunately the United States, in a completely unserious manner. This was retweeted by all sorts of people, including Ted Cruz, and then of course he started getting called a Russian asset and everything else. So first let's show you this Russian army video.
Это первый день твоей новой жизни. Что ты знаешь о себе? На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сможешь узнать себя? Познать границы своих возможностей? К черту границы! Ты готов ломать себя? Да, потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле, главный враг вчерашний — ты. Твоя задача — выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад. Победить.
All right, I don't speak Russian, but I assume he was saying something to the effect of, you know, we're serious people, and I...
Now let's look at the, well, what about the Russian military? Oh. Those are some nice tanks you got there that are being manned by incredibly, oh, whoa. Very straight, definitely not homoerotic, definitely very militarily capable, huge muscles, throbbing. Oof, what happened to that guy? Wait. I'm sure the explosives that they're using here are far more expensive than the tank itself, at least, right?
I've got to go do something, and I'm fighting for my country, and that's what we're going to go do. I also think was it Dan Snyder? Zack Snyder of Justice League.
Is he really about this on our military compared to Russia's military? It's the military. What happened to conservatives in this country? I was about to say, when did they all become so gay? But it's fucking Dave Rubin. He is gay.
Probably directed that thing. You can see, you don't even need to know exactly what he's saying to understand, and whether you think it's propaganda or not, and we can have all of those debates, but what you're seeing is the Russian government is...
Whether you think it's propaganda or not, imagine the level of charitability. An advertisement for a country's military, okay? Now, whether you think it's propaganda or not.
Putting out an ad saying, we want soldiers, we want to be able to defend our country, we're going to do what we got to do. Now...
Defend your country. As long as the Iraq War was a defensive war for the United States, I'll let you slide with that one, Dave, okay?
Now allow me to show you what the U.S. Army put out last week.
It begins in California with a little girl raised by 2 moms. I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. Standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class. I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
We're screwed, people.
You're literally gay and you adopted a kid. You are doing the most woke shit that has ever been happening in the history of all of American society. Why do you think that of all the people that could even attack somebody in this way, you would be the person to do it? Like, it's just such an unbelievably stupid line of attack. One of the benefits of having a society, by the way, that is more diverse and is accepting of that diversity is the fact that you can deploy your resources in a more efficient manner. In some society in where you hate your women, you hate your gays or whatever, right? They might not even join the military. We had like 1 million people that were African American fighting in World War II, right? We were able to take a population of people that were enslaved in this country, all right? We were willing to sign up for, well, willing, I mean, they were conscripted, right? But that fought with our military in World War II. Meanwhile, the Nazis are diverting resources from the front line so that they can kill more Jewish people. Like, one of these strategies has clearly worked and produced the leading empire of the world for the past 100 years. And another one of these strategies is making it so that Russia is being invaded by Ukraine. What, like, in what world are we saying that these are the guys that have it all figured out?
You get it? You get it? Like, can you imagine that Russian guy coming up against that girl? No offense to that girl. No offense to her lesbian.
The Russian guy would probably be petrified, and he would close his eyes and he would remember back when he was on his knees sucking off his commanding officer before Ukrainian drones were dropping grenades on them. I'm shitting. I don't even like to shit on Russians like this. It's not even like, God, it's so stupid. It's such a stupid thing.
Lesbian mothers. No offense to the marching. No offense to equality. No offense to any of that. But if you give me a, East Village lesbian.
Just also as a heads up, ideology is pretty important. Like, it does motivate people to fight for things. It really truly does impact like how willing a population is to take up arms and fight, how willing a population is to endure whatever conditions there are, right? Look at the Ukrainian conditions are not the best, and that country is still enjoying incredibly broad support for the war. They're fighting, I don't even know. I was going to say the second largest military. I don't know where Russia even ranks right now in terms of the military, but it's your ideology, your willingness to fight, like all of these things are incredibly important. Again, like we can laugh at the women and equality and blah, 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 okay? But wasn't Golda Meir, was she the first female head of state in the world? I'm trying to remember was there another one? There might have been another country that had a first female head of state, but like this is an LOL woman who's head of state winning a surprise war against against other Arab countries, right? The Yom Kippur War. She was the prime minister, and it's a woman. It's just. It's so stupid. It's just such a dumb. I hate this line of attack. It's such a. What is this from? Are we watching House right now? It's just such a stupid line of attack. It's disgusting, and it's not even because. It's not even about like wokeness or whatever. It's just stupid. It's not good strategy. It's just. I hate this guy so much. I hate him so much. I actually hate this guy. And now that I know he's Russia, bought and paid for, I hate him even more. Or rather, my hatred is legitimized, at least.
Of that. But if you give me a, East Village lesbian versus Vladimir Putin, who's going to win? What are we doing? What are we doing? That's great.
You know that Vladimir Putin isn't actually like fighting in the war, right?
Nobody cares if you're gay. Nobody cares if you're straight. Nobody cares if you're trans. But which one of those?
Nobody cares if you're gay in Russia? Do you think that's true, Dave? I love that you have such an American-centric view on this, that everybody around the world is just super accepting of other types of sexual orientations. That's great, but...
Nobody cares if you're straight. Nobody cares if you're trans. But which one of those seems like a country that is saying we are here... We are here for a purpose. We are here to defend ourselves. We are here...
Defend? Why do you keep saying defend? Defend from what?
Because we believe in the documents that got us here, and we are strong and don't mess with us and all of that stuff. Now, again, maybe the Russian one is propaganda.
It's a military ad for military recruitment, Dave. Of course it's propaganda. That's not even bad, though. They're supposed to be propaganda. No shit.
I'm not going to sit here and defend a Russian army ad, right? Although I would defend Ivan Drago fighting Rocky Balboa in Moscow on Christmas Day in 1985, I believe that was. But it's just like, you see these two things.
Like he would defend the fight? defend the movie, or he would be on Ivan's side? Wait, what was the point? What?
No offense to the marching, no offense to equality, no offense to any of that. But if you give me a, East Village lesbian versus Vladimir Putin, who's gonna win? What are we doing? What are we doing? That's great. Nobody cares if you're gay. Nobody cares if you're straight. Nobody cares if you're trans. But which one of those seems like a country that is saying we are here? We are here for a purpose. We are here to defend ourselves. We are here because we believe in the documents that got us here, and we are strong and don't mess with us and all of that stuff. Now, again, maybe the Russian one is propaganda. I'm not going to sit here and defend a Russian army ad.
Oh, I thought that's what you were doing for the past 3 minutes. My bad.
Right? Although I would defend Ivan Drago fighting Rocky Balboa in Moscow on Christmas Day in 1985, I believe that was. But it's just like, you see these two things. Do we have a problem here? Like, we got a real problem here, and we're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. By the way, this is fantastic. Connor showed me this. My director showed me this right before we started. On that YouTube video, on the U.S. Army ad, now they shut off comments, so you're not allowed to comment on that, but this is absolutely incredible. There are 4.2 thousand, so 4,200 likes.
Isn't he just saying the U.S. military ad is kind of silly? Yeah, but it's not. You want to be able to take your population and use them and allocate them as efficiently as possible. And stupid things like bigots or sexism might f up having what would otherwise be good talent joining your military because they're pushed away for some reason. So you want to reach out. If you've got a military, you're trying to recruit whatever talent you think is out there. You would want that, right? Now, if they're saying like, oh, come join the military and we'll make special exceptions for you to join because you're a woman or some shit, it's probably not as good. But I understand there's limited examples. But I mean, like, if the U.S. does anything well, it's probably our military shit. I'm sorry, but we obliterated the Iraqi military. Like, we do war well. Like, if we do anything well, it's war. So this idea that, like, oh, look at the military so worthless and going woke, it's compared to Russia that's so awesome. Really? Russia? That's the military that you're going to hold in high regards right now? Seriously?
4.2.
Wow, Singe, thanks for the tier 5 subber.
2,000 likes, 86,000 dislikes. Are we inspiring people? Are we inspiring people? I don't know. You can only garner or glean that much information from likes on YouTube videos, but like something ain't right. And again, I just want to say fantastic work with that cartoon girl and her lesbian mothers. That's wonderful. It's great. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just wonderful. But I think Putin's got a leg up on us. Like, Putin's watching that video going, we're okay, guys. Don't worry. Invasion begin next week. Okay.
No, he's watching your videos thinking, oh, we're okay, guys. The invasion's already underway into American media, and we're doing it through the likes of Dave Rubin.
Okay.
For example, it wouldn't mean anything because as of yet, we can only assert that this is a list of POI, not a list of individuals who receive money from the Kremlin because of your past comments on the Russia-Ukraine war. It's not far-fetched that you could have been identified as a person of interest. Yeah, I know. That'd be awesome. There was a list of 2,800 influencers that they thought could be useful for the Russian op. There are people saying you were upset you're not getting paid by the Russian government. Yeah, I am. I'm pissed, dude. Someone tried convincing me that you're a part of the DOJ indictments. Wait, what? That's awesome. Please tell me more. What did Tim Pool do? Tim Pool got $400,000 a month from the Russian government to consistently say insane shit like Ukraine is the #1 enemy of the United States. Tim Pool, okay? So he got paid to push disinformation and you were literally tricked for free speech. I was not tricked. My positions on this conflict has not changed. I could quite literally
Oh, we gotta read the text.
paid to push disinformation and you were literally tricked for free speech. I was not tricked. My positions on this conflict has not changed.
Did Hasan spout pro-Russia and RT talking points?
I could quite literally tell Vladimir Putin, like, not even as a meme, but like actually fucking have direct line of communication with him and tell him, like, do not fucking invade Ukraine. And he's like, I promise, Hasan, I will never invade Ukraine now. Like, if he said that, for example, it wouldn't mean anything because Joe Biden would still be like, Vladimir Putin says, I don't want to do it as long as, you're not fucking forcing Ukraine to join the NATO or you're not giving Ukraine weapons to fight against or push back against, like, the Russian forces that aren't even there yet.
Oh shit! He didn't even believe the Civil War stuff and the Donbass was caused by the Russian, basically Russian supported or Russian backed stuff. He thinks it was all. Did he think it was like a genuine civil war or?
Colonialism. You are a fucking psycho. There has never been a circumstance in which an imperial power has decided to take over land where the fucking people living in that land are their own people, okay? And the country's entire military is like, oh yeah, this is great. Finally, we can like work with our own fucking country and we speak the language and it's our country and we want to actually join. And then they also fucking correspond to numerous surveys time and time again, year over year over year, leading up to fucking the Crimean annexation and even after the Crimean annexation, saying, no, it's good. We want to be a part of Russia. It's fucking insane. You could say that's like Russian propaganda or whatever, but like Vladimir Putin did claim in the talks that they had that they have no interest in invading Ukraine, okay? That they have no interest in invading Ukraine. They simply just don't want America to keep agitating Ukraine. They do not want America to keep arming Ukrainian soldiers and also saying that they're not interested in invading Ukraine as long as Ukraine doesn't become a part of NATO. Joe Biden's like, no, fuck that. Ukraine should be a part of NATO, okay? And that is ridiculous, okay? That is fucking ridiculous. And there are probably Ukrainian people who are, there are probably Ukrainian people in here who are like, no, fuck that. We want NATO. We want NATO. It's like, you don't know what you want. Okay? Ultimately, actually appropriate. And you do this without realizing that you are basically still advocating, okay? You're still advocating for further NATO involvement. You're still advocating for building fucking military bases. You're still advocating for further escalation of conflict. The thing is, leftists in Georgia and Ukraine have to reconcile between being anti-NATO, but also NATO is the only entity that can actually... Here, we got a Georgian in the chat giving a Georgian ass take. Let's hear it. Like, what do you do?
Does he hate Georgia because they were invaded by Russia or what? Wow, okay. Oh.
You come in here and you learn about how America fucking fought against the USSR by literally beefing up the Mujahideen, like, and how that led to the collapse in Afghanistan, and how that led to, quite literally led to 9/11. And you celebrate.
Wait, does he think that Afghanistan was A-okay when the Soviets were invading and trying to force their leader to be the person who headed the country? Does he think that most of the people in Afghanistan were chilling cool with that?
And you celebrate knowing that reality that other people don't know about, okay? You make jokes about it. You fucking meme about it.
Wait, does he say the same for the entirety of the Soviet Union? Like all Soviet states and all members of the Warsaw Pact were there because they wanted to be and they loved the Soviet Union? Does he believe that?
But then you turn around and when it's happening right in front of your eyes in Ukraine, you're like, no, that's actually good. You're a dumbass. You are a dumbass. Just like every other American is a dumbass. You think you're smarter because in your mind you have like this empathetic point of view. You think like, oh no, I empathize with the people of Ukraine. Like, we should arm them. We should give them guns, and they should fight back against the Russian forces. It's like, you know, they have a pretty big military. They have a pretty solid military. Like, they should be the first fucking line of defense against Russia. And it's like, no, dude, how do you not realize that we're doing the same shit, but in Ukraine now that we were doing in fucking Afghanistan and everywhere else?
That's a wild comparison. Everything is like Iraq. Everything is like Afghanistan.
If you don't want like serious agitation, if you don't want like serious issues in Ukraine, then like stop giving them fucking guns, okay? Stop giving Ukraine guns, which is what the American government is doing. And also on top of that, stop trying to get them to fucking join NATO. Chatters are pointing out that Ukraine supports actual neo-Nazis, but that's not unique to Ukraine. White supremacist militias are rampant all across Eastern Europe, including Russia, who directly supports them as well. Kind of a non-factor. Yeah, I mentioned that yesterday as well. That's it. Like it's ridiculous. It's the fuck Russia coalition, and Ukraine is like, let's join the fuck Russia coalition, and get like sweet American missiles. Also, people keep saying it was Ukraine's own choice to join NATO. Okay, well, it was Crimea's own choice to fucking join Russia then. Like, you can't fucking be like this region of just predominantly overwhelming majority Russian people with a fucking military that is like literally Russian, with a military that joined the Russian military immediately after the annexation, that is time and time again fucking
Look at it. Immediately after the annexation.
Consistently polled on being a part of Russia that's doing better now under Russia than it was, and then turn around and be like, oh, it was Ukraine's choice to fucking join NATO.
Based?
They posted 1 hour ago in the Destiny subreddit. It's an AstroTurf operation. Yeah, no, it's not a Willie Mac fan. It's 100%. It's 100% like rabid Destiny fans, dude. Nobody knows who the fuck I am or cares about who the fuck I am, except for people who are permanently on Reddit, and they happen to be a fan of Bonarelli. I've seen some dudes saying you were stupid because you were doing it for free. He's right. They're right. I am dumb for doing my pro Russia aimed propaganda at gamers, minorities, the swing 2024 election.
Damn. Hasan's really upping his research. This was on a heavy reading day. How many Twitter tabs open? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think is that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't know what these like combo tabs are. 12 Twitter tabs open today, plus what is that? 5, 6 YouTube videos? Holy shit!
With social media, particularly YouTube, where it's really easy, you can have a foreign agent or even the government or some corporation or whatever say, this guy talks about things that we really like. Dump ad money into his channel through Google AdSense, and they'll never know we were the ones funding him, and you can't prove it.
So do you think YouTube? You think that's something
Wait,
like?
well, hold on.
What happens with social media, particularly YouTube, where it's
Hold on. What is this? Is this from like 20 years ago? So like maybe I can say he just didn't know better because he was fucking retarded, or okay, sorry, let me.
With social media, particularly YouTube, where it's really easy, you can have a foreign agent or even the government or some corporation or whatever say, this guy talks about things that we really like. Dump ad money into his channel through Google AdSense, and they'll never know we were the ones funding him.
Is he talking about like view botting with bots that consume ads, so generate fake viewership? No, when you go to sell ads on platforms, you can call out like certain demographics that you would be able to ad spend on. So people that are of this age, that have these hobbies or whatever. But I don't think you can specify an individual channel to run ads on. Dan is going to do some retarded contrary shit with repeating what I just said, but he's going to try to make it sound more precise than that. But I don't think you can specify an individual channel that you're going to ad spend with. At that point, you would just approach the content. Why wouldn't you just approach the content creator and, yeah. Okay, wait, hold on. Maybe you can specify individual channels. That might be a new thing. Never mind. Hold on. I'm reading. Give me a minute.
There's a series of 55 URLs like antifahub.org.
Oh, interesting.
A lot of them are packed with malware. A lot of them are packed with. They have security reports.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with me
I
or
don't
YouTube?
know. I'm saying
Yeah.
I don't know, but you should look into it.
It is kind of funny that he calls out exactly what did happen to his channel, though, in an even more overt manner, because it wasn't Google ad spend. It was literally just
Board meeting.
it was literally just a company paying for it, and he didn't
certain-
think of questioning where the money came from.
Hand with Google and Facebook to keep everyone sedated. The NSA and DARPA working hand in hand with Google and Facebook to keep everyone sedated and controlled for the New World Order. Reality is shifting far closer to the world of dead internet theory than we would like to imagine it has, with the rise of AI. This time around, they won't be saying that the laptop was planted by Russian agents or whatever scandal it is. They'll instead say that the entire thing was generated by AI. All of those images of the president's son, totally made up. That was Midjourney, guys. And his text logs, simply ChatGPT. We are set to face an expansion of government control, the likes of which you have never seen before.
Every accusation is a confession. Oh, and this was a Tenet-produced video. Clever.
The old saying goes, a grand jury will...
Don't say the indicted him. It was obviously going to say it. They always say this. What is the source for this? Wait, I have so many questions about this channel targeting thing. Let's say that there's another political streamer hold on, I'm sorry, I will do this. Can I run ads on like every other political streamer's YouTube channel to come and watch my channel? Like, am I allowed to do that? I can just specify, or is this like if you enter a channel, it's got like a higher chance of appearing? Or this seems so like outwardly and obviously not. Like, it feels like there'd be so many ways to abuse the out of this. My life has changed. Praise Jesus.
So, I make no claims that I know jack shit, so I'll start it and someone else can fill in the gaps. But if
Wait, if you're just going to tell me random stuff that you believe to be true, I'm just reading about this. If you have no personal experience, why would I?
Chill. I've actually used AdSense. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to say what I said, and people can say if this is how it would actually work.
Okay.
God, fuck, damn.
Okay.
Have you ever used AdSense?
If I did, it was like 15 years ago.
So when I went in there, one of the things that you can do is you can set like viewers of. So if people watch a certain person's content.
Yeah, but that's
so
not what we're talking about. We're talking about targeting the actual videos. I think you can enter, apparently now you can enter explicit YouTube videos of.
Okay, so that I don't know, but I would assume that if it's like you want viewers of this and they have an AdSense like running on their thing, so if it's YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, but we're not talking about viewers of this. We're talking about running ads on people's videos, not just to those viewers.
Wait, I'm sorry. So is it about ads that maybe I misheard where this started? I thought it was about ads to fund that individual. Is that not it?
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you put viewers of, I assume that incentivizes those ads you're running to be put towards that individual.
Yeah, but it could go to a million other channels too, right?
It could.
It'd be the worst. Yeah. Well, no, it would, right? That'd be the worst way ever to give money to somebody. Like I could spend $1 million and only 10,000 of ad spend would go.
Okay.
Theoretically.
All right. Yeah. No, I guess that doesn't work. Now that I've vocalized it, that was all.
Okay. Be careful. I love you.
All right. Bye.
I call on the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, our Heavenly Savior. Lord, I humbly in this great congregation in Phoenix, Arizona, with my host, Tucker Carlson, in deference to him, but in ultimate deference to you, our Lord and Savior, to whom we are all your younger siblings and your children. I pray in your name that the forthcoming election be an opportunity for unity for America and for America, all your younger siblings and your children. I pray in your name that the forthcoming election be an opportunity for unity for America and for Americans, for forgiveness and for grace. That the dark and demonic forces that appear to operate at the level of the state, the deep state, and the corporate and global world experience your light, Lord, that we are guided, that you guide all of our tongues and all of our words and all of our hearts, that we feel your forgiveness and that we feel your grace. Thank you, Lord, for the many gifts that you have bestowed.
God, it's so fucking... Religious grifts are probably the cringiest, worst grifts, literally, of all time.
Upon us. Thank you for the glory of consciousness itself in which we can experience you and live you. Thank you for the beauty of nature in which we see your wisdom and your creativity and your infinite glory. Thank you, Lord, for the many leaders, and thank you, Lord, that you were born and died that we may be forgiven and that we may have eternal life, not through merit or anything that we have individually achieved, for surely all of us are fallen, but in your holy name we are forgiven by your act of redemption, by your sacrifice. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Bless the brand, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Both of these guys are so fucking cringe.
Somebody tag in
I think we've watched this before.
Somebody tag in Donald Trump. Donald Trump, if you can hear us, please, Donald Trump, please save me. Please save me, Donald Trump, please. I'm asking you. Please save me. Please save me. Please get these people away from me. In dear God's name, please stop these proof. They're breaking. Told you it would be broken. Yes, sir. I'm not doing anything, sir. I'm a believer in the Lord. I'm the Lord's child. I promise you. Give me a.
Okay. You live in, what is this? I live in a swing state. If the genocide in Gaza is still happening on election day, I will not vote for Kamala Harris. There's absolutely nothing you can do to change my mind about this. Good luck. You live in New York City. Your vote doesn't matter. If she picks walls, I'll vote for her, and I live in a swing state, so my vote actually matters. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay. Uh-oh, what is this?
Crowder to Hasan, 200. I'm on the left, but Hasan is a terrorist sympathizer and a verifiable liar.
Are these, is this an older? I can't tell. Is this an old clip that we've watched? This is. We've watched this before, right?
Same shit, different toilet. Bro said Hitler to super Hitler. Steven Crowder is Hitler and I'm super Hitler. Dog.
Property gains tax is also an unrealized gains tax, no? No. Property gains, no. Property taxes are not assessed against like unrealized gains or it's not a capital gains tax. Property tax is not a gains tax or an income tax of any kind. It's just a tax on property to run your city or whatever.
Dog. Hasan supports Russia just like the far right. Congratulations on meeting the horseshoe.
Based.
The Russian army literally made an ad where they depicted Hasan Piker as a gay fake man who paints his nails. Hasan has been against Ukraine since day one and has been pro-Russia even after finding out people like Tim Pool and Lauren Chan were getting paid off.
Oh. Oh, no, wait. This is current.
By them.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
He literally raised hundreds of thousands for Ukrainians during his initial start of the war, announced this isn't justification. He explains that the U.S. is at fault and the only benefiting party from this. U.S. congressmen proudly said they destroyed Russia's army without sending a single U.S. soldier by giving Ukrainians their old weapons. It's so obvious they don't give a fuck about Ukrainian people.
Uh-oh.
It's a really idiotic way of thinking. He justified Russia taking Ukrainian regions, said Ukrainians are Russians, and said that Ukrainians are Russians.
Yep. I think he said that about Crimea, didn't he?
Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. Like,
if your property goes up in value, do you pay more taxes on it? If so, it's a tax on a non-income gain. You're not taxed on your gains. No. When you sell your home, you still have to pay a capital gains tax on the difference in value. The property taxes are not taxes on income of any kind.
You got to be really fucking in. Like, I don't know how you can be like, I hate Steven Crowder because he's Hitler, and I hate Hasan way more because he's super Hitler. Like, what the fuck does that even... I need to understand the brains of some of these people. Like, how do you have that level of brain damage? By the way, 53 people liked it.
53 people? What?
Like, you have to have straight up, like, verifiable brain damage.
Tenet reporter Taylor Hanson claimed YouTube banned him after indictment, but YouTube confirmed he deleted his own channel in an apparent attempt to hijack victimhood and garner support for his new Rumble channel. He's saying that he didn't actually delete his or wait, hold on. I don't understand this article. A YouTube spokesperson confirmed that Hasan closed his personal account and that it had not been banned. The Taylor USA channel was deleted by its owner on September 6th. The YouTube spokesperson wrote in an email. Hi there, I wanted to jump on and clarify. The screenshot you shared shows a notice that we sent on September 5th after the termination of Tenet Media and associated channels, including a Taylor Hasan channel with 0 uploads or... Oh, what a sneaky little cuck. Unbelievable. Oh, I hope they terminate his main channel. Because I was going to say, it sounds like the writer of this article is being very sneaky and saying, well, they didn't technically delete his channel. They just said that it was going to be permanently banned and then he deleted it. But it's like, does that really matter? But it looks like this notice that he got, this was for another channel. So these nicknames here are just going to be what you name your channel, but it might not necessarily be the actual channel's ID.
Permanently banned on YouTube. No explanation at all. It says I can never own a channel or operate a channel ever again, so that's lovely. Obviously admits the DOJ indictment of the alleged activities of Russian funding. Tenet Media was banned almost immediately. Lauren Chen was banned almost immediately, and now I was banned with no explanation, even though the indictment states, if these charges are true, these allegations are true, we're all victims, the people that were hosts there and me as a reporter there. So it's interesting. It seems like the censorship czar is back out in full force. It's election season, baby. So yeah, ban with no explanation. I wonder if they're going to stop here or are they just going to take it all the way? They're going to ban anyone that was ever affiliated with this brand, which is absolutely mind-boggling to me. But there you go. Permanently banned. You got to love it. I love America, y'all. Censorship is great.
What an unbelievable little piece of shit. YouTube responded this morning about 20 hours ago, or I guess that's what it was yesterday night. Hi there, just wanted to jump in and clarify. The screenshot you shared shows a notice that we sent on September 5th after the termination of Tenet Media and associated channels, including a Taylor Hasan channel with 0 uploads or subscribers. It looks like a separate channel, Taylor USA, was deleted by its owner on September 6th. These guys are shameless. Shameless. This is what I mean when I say conservatives have absolutely no shame. I don't understand. Did he delete the wrong account? No. Let me explain. Imagine I work for a company, okay? We'll call it Southern Media. Imagine I work for Southern Media and it comes out that my boss, okay, Lori, gets indicted for doing a bunch of Russian nonsense. And then let's say that account, Southern Media, gets terminated. Okay, and then the associated accounts that were also made under that brand also got terminated. Well, let's say that I have an account, okay, that I had made under that brand, because brands can be managed by single accounts. You can have brand accounts on YouTube, and I called that account like Stephen Bonnell or whatever. Well, what happened is all of the accounts that were tied to that brand account got taken off YouTube, all right? Well, I see that, and then I get an email saying, hey, Stephen Bonnell, your account has been terminated. It's like, oh, shit, wait, hold on. I got a great idea. What the fuck? I just want a big version of the meme. Give me a big version of the meme. Okay, great idea, all right? What if I delete my main channel and then show people on Twitter the email that I got for the brand channel? Then it'll look like YouTube deleted my main channel. Because if you try to go to my main channel, it'll be deleted. Boom. That's what he tried to do, okay? Is a live debate watch party going to be on YouTube, Kick, or other space? I'll try to stream it on YouTube tonight, and then for every single person that complained about me not streaming on YouTube, I will permaban them if I end up getting a 1-week suspension. Or if I do get a week suspension, I'm taking a week off stream. I'm probably going to go overseas, or I'm just going to travel to some other state. I'm going to do whatever. I'm not streaming on Kick or any of the fuck thing else. Because every other time before this, people have been getting banned for restreaming debates. And I think on the last one, I opted to just stream it on Kick. And then 85 of you 75 IQ, knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing dipshits were posting in the server like, I can't believe Dusty's so fucking stupid that he didn't know, blah, blah, blah. So I will stream it on YouTube this time. And if I get the copyright warning, I'm just going to stream through it until my channel gets clapped for a week. And then I'm going to vacation for a week and peace the fuck out. So good luck. Destiny, we have permanently removed your channel from YouTube. Going forward, you won't be able to access, possess, or create any other YouTube channel. Doesn't this mean that he couldn't use his main channel, though? No. What I'm guessing is... fuck. The way that it's set up is you can have a... You can create a YouTube account. And now, ordinarily with a YouTube account, you can create a YouTube channel. Generally. However... a YouTube account can also create these things called brand channels. And a single account can be the creator of multiple brand channels. And I believe you might be able to associate different emails with these, as secondary emails if you want for communications. If this account here gets clapped, this main account gets clapped, all the brand channels are going to get clapped as well. And if all these brand channels get clapped, then there's going to be emails going out to all of them. However, just because you were helping to manage a brand, like one of these channels here, doesn't mean that all of your main channels are going to get banned that aren't even associated with that, right? So that guy's lying. Now, this guy who owned this brand account up here, the one that managed all the brand accounts, if this guy made a new account, he would get banned. So no, the Taylor guy's a lying little cuck piece of shit. Oh boy. Good luck.
Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today we're going to talk about some updates, some new revelations related to the whole Tenet Media fiasco, because I think when we introduce this new information that we have and compare and contrast it to what's actually put down in the indictment, there is a very plausible case that Lauren Chen and her husband were also scammed, also lied to, also duped by these Russian operatives, and I think the evidence for that is quite clear, especially when you would take into account the additional context that we've received now that all of the Tenet creators have come out publicly to talk about what went down when they were at the company. Now, we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Oh, give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
I said this in my...
Remember, anytime a Democrat or anybody like that is involved, okay, as conspiratorial as possible. Every possible connection is true, and every connection of a connection that can be implied is absolutely true. 1,000,000,000,000%. Okay? But when it's our friends, even the things that are alleged to be true maybe are not true. Okay? When it's our friends, it's way different.
My previous video, but it bears repeating for people who won't watch that previous video or didn't watch it, but I've always liked and got along with Lauren and her husband Liam. They have always been good to me. Lauren hooked me up with this organization that does these speaking events, so when you see me doing live panels and whatnot, the reason I was able to do that is because she reached out to me, got me a ticket to an event, got me into the green room where I was able to meet the organizers. When I was reached out to by a multi-channel network, remember when I used to do those in-video ads and I didn't know whether or not I should take the offer, Lauren recommended the person because it was her sponsor person. By the way, this is well before she was at RT or even The Blaze, and I was able to basically get half my revenue from those in-video ad reads and half of it from YouTube monetization and all other sources. She did that out of the kindness of her heart. She's always done things like that, and I really appreciate her, and I really appreciate her husband. And many a time when she has been in New York, we would go out to dinner, me, my then fiance, now wife, Lauren, and her husband. So
this is all just making you sound worse, no? Like you didn't see this? I guess he's about to make the argument for why they were all actually innocent, so who knows, okay.
I don't want to just trash that relationship right away based on an indictment that doesn't accuse them of crimes.
Why would he admit, like, so... At least he's disclosing, I guess. Like, so we're basically saying, I'm really close friends with this person. I might be super biased, and I don't want to, like, throw away my friendship. So let's go ahead and reanalyze every single part of the indictment to twist it in my favor because of our friendship. Okay. Let's go.
So those are my biases out there on the table. And I will say, and it bears repeating, if true, if they use their position of trust that they earned over the years in order to put all these different various creators, some of which are friends of mine, in this precarious position, then that's absolutely horrible. But as I said in my previous video on this, I don't believe that they would do that. And now, upon receiving a bunch of different information, because Matt Christensen has done a couple of live streams, I think there's pretty solid evidence that they didn't do that. And I'm going to explain that to you throughout the course of this video.
This morning, we unsealed an indictment in the Southern District of New York of Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Afanasieva, two Russian-based employees of RT, a Russian state-controlled media outlet. They are charged with conspiring to commit money laundering and to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act. That law, enacted nearly a century ago, was enacted to ensure that the American people were informed when a foreign power engages in political activities or seeks to influence public discourse.
So while Lauren and Liam have not been indicted as it relates to their role in Tenet Media, it is important for me to point out that in Section 4 of the indictment of the two Russian nationals, it says that Kalashnikov and Afanasieva, Founder 1 and Founder 2, which would be Lauren and Liam, also worked together to deceive two online commentators, Commentator 1 and Commentator 2, who respectively have over 2.4 million and 1.3 million YouTube subscribers. So right there, it is saying that Lauren and Liam knew. They knew about the Russian connection and all that, and they worked together in order to make it seem like this French, although some people are reporting Belgian, millionaire or billionaire, doesn't matter, top investor, was not the one behind this company, and they cite a bunch of different things throughout this indictment that allegedly proves that. However, when you go into the details, one of the things that you realize is that according to the indictment itself, Lauren and Liam were actually asked on behalf of this investor to hire a Russian PR firm, Russian publicity firm, whatever you want to call it. So that needs to be put out first and foremost so you can understand the potential context for all these different messages. So if you go to section 22 of the indictment, which can be found on page 16, for those of you out there in the audience, again, linked in the description in full, it is made absolutely clear that as a condition of receiving the money, Persona 1 asked Lauren and Liam to hire this Russian PR team to handle the marketing around Tenet Media. Again, Persona 1 would be somebody that was meant to be an interface between them and the investor, because obviously the investor isn't going to talk to them with the day-to-day operations. And of course, this person allegedly is going to turn out to be some form of a Russian asset that's actually working for the Russians. Again, this is yet to be revealed, but at this moment in time, I just want to highlight.
This has yet to be revealed. Persona 1 is Kalashnikov or whatever. Wait. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. 1 second.
Persona 1 money. Persona 1 asked firm, Russian publicity firm, whatever you want to call it. So that needs to be put out first and foremost so you can understand the potential context for all these different messages. So if you go to section 22 of the indictment, which can be found on page 16, for those of you out there in the audience, again, linked in the description in full, it is made absolutely clear that as a condition of receiving the money, Persona 1 asked Lauren and Liam to hire this Russian PR team to handle the marketing around Tenet Media. Again, Persona 1 would be somebody that was meant to be an interface between them and the investor, because obviously the investor isn't going to talk to them with the day-to-day operations. And of course, this person allegedly is going to turn out to be some form of a Russian asset that's actually working for the Russians. Again, this is yet to be revealed. But at this moment in time, I just want to highlight that
This has yet to be revealed. He means like in the timeline of the indictment? He's saying that then it has yet to be revealed? Like in the timeline here, I think he's saying. Not like today it has yet to be revealed, right? I'm trying to see real quickly if who they were responding to when they did that Moscow lookup. It was over Persona 1. But okay.
This section, read it to you so you can understand the case that I'm making. On or about March 31st, Persona 1 emailed Founder 1 a draft of the new contract that we would like to offer. Persona 1 described the new contract as consisting of 2 stages. Quote, the pre-talent signing, where your scope of work is similar to now, and the post-talent signing.
So she knew Persona 1 was in Russia, no? I'm trying to think like the Steelman defense. What if she asked Persona 1 this question, and she looked at the time in Russia because she thought maybe Persona 1 was waiting on Edward Gregorian or whatever, and he was Russian, but maybe Persona 1 wasn't Russian, but she wanted to check up the Moscow time because she was waiting on Persona 1 maybe to get a message back from Edward, and that's what was taking him so long?
Which is after we sign Commentator 2 and Commentator 1 with your help. Persona 1 advised that the scope of your work will grow substantially to include managing the channel in the post-talent signing phase with,
he was
quote,
supposed to be
new
French.
areas of
Okay,
responsibility and our new offered compensation. In a subsequent email on or about April 14th of 2023, Persona 1 informed Founder 1 that the, quote, managing and marketing for the new platform's social media accounts would, quote, be done by the Russian firm we agreed to hire. But you will, of course, be the CEO and set the working standard and path for them to follow, and possibly you could hire a few more more people from your side to further handle the operational side of things. On or about April 17th, 2023, Founder One replied in part that Founder One was happy to work with the Russian firm as set forth below. This quote, Russian firm consisted of Kalishnikov and Afadeh, which are the people that are indicted, who later monitored and directed U.S. Company One's activities under the guise of an outside editing firm.
The American people are entitled to know when a foreign power is attempting to exploit our country's free exchange of ideas in order to send around its own propaganda. The company never disclosed to the... I'm sorry. And that is what we alleged happened in this case.
Now, look, the reason I'm highlighting this is because it may provide a key context and exonerating context for Lauren and her husband, because it is mandated basically as a part of their agreement in order to take this investment, in order to set up this company, that they work in conjunction with this Russian firm that does the marketing and PR related to Tenet Media. And the reason why I'm highlighting this is because later on, the alleged connections or the alleged knowledge that Lauren and Liam were involved in this scheme is based on them referring to this firm as the Russians. So in section 10 on page 6, the Justice Department makes the case in the indictment that the reason we know for sure that Lauren and Liam were definitely aware that this was a Russian scheme and thus scamming the people involved is because they referred to in their private correspondence while working directly for RT pursuant to Founder One's written contract. Founder One and Founder Two regularly referred to their sponsor, i.e. RT, as the Russians. For example, on or about May 12, 2021, Founder Two messaged Founder One on Discord, quote, so we're billing the Russians from the corporation, right? On or about May 22nd, 2021, Founder One messaged Founder Two on Discord, also the Russians paid, so we're good to bill them for a second month, I guess. On or about June 2nd, 2021, Founder One messaged Founder Two, quote, also, I say we bill the Russians for the last month once we're done with the extra op-eds. Referred to Founder One's paid opinion articles for RT. And on or about January 5th of 2022, Founder Two messaged an acquaintance on Discord about paid leave that the Russians had offered to Founder One. So right there in that particular section, we have 4 separate communications when they were working at RT where they referred to RT as the Russians in their private communications with one another. Again, 4 communications over the course of a couple of years while Lauren Chen was at RT, although to be fair, it may be a year and a couple of months, not exactly sure, because of course, during the February invasion, the contracts that people had with RT in places like the United States and Canada, where Lauren and Liam are citizens from, would have been kaput at that moment in time. Now, when we jump from page 6 to page 18, which is section 27, if you're reading the indictment and the pages are out of order, we get this further proof that they knew for sure that this was the Russians, that this was RT, and it is based in this paragraph right here. Despite describing U.S. Company One's investor 2, Commentator 1, and Commentator 2 as, quote, Eduard Grigorian, a purported finance professional in Western Europe, Founder One and Founder Two admitted to each other in their private communications that their investors were in truth and in fact the Russians. The same term that Founder One and Founder Two previously used to refer to RT while working directly under contract with RT as described above. On or about May 27, 2023, Founder One messaged Founder Two, quote, I'm going to ask the Russians about hiring Producer Two in this coming week. Approximately 2 days later, Founder One messaged Producer Two on Discord, quote, here's a list of the responsibilities I sent over to the investors to approve bringing you on. Waiting to hear back on timeline, salary. On or about August 8, 2023, Persona One informed Founder One and Founder Two in Discord that the request to hire a producer/booker was approved, and that is Producer Two. So this is supposedly the proof that Lauren and Liam knew that their investors were actually the Russians and not this Eduard Grigorian guy who is now described as a Western European finance guy. But the thing is, that's not really proof of anything, except for the fact that Lauren and Liam refer to Russians, whether they be at RT or in a PR firm, to be Russians. Let me remind you of what we read at the beginning of this. Remember, page 16 of the indictment, it says on April 14th, 2023, Persona One informed Founder One that the management and marketing for the new platform's social media accounts would be done by the Russian firm we agreed to hire. But you, of course, will be the CEO and set the work.
So he's implying that they thought they were going to be getting paid by the management and marketing firm? And they were just referring to the management and marketing firm?
Standard and path for them to follow, and possibly you could hire a few more people from your side to further handle the operational side of things. Now, in my previous video on this channel, when I was discussing the idea that content creators were paid to share something that was requested by the Russians on February 15th of this year, which of course was this Tucker Carlson video, I explained to you that the producers in this were actually the people that worked for Tenet and were managing the social media account. And I showed you at the end of that February 5th exchange that the producer agreed to post the Tucker Carlson video tomorrow, aka February 16th, and we have a corresponding Tenet Media tweet of that exact video at that moment in time. So these people, the Russians, as in this PR firm that Lauren and Liam thought was handling the social media side of this, were messaged about hiring another producer, again, which makes sense if they were handling that and allowing them to hire people on their own side in order to manage their side of things, about salary and whatnot for this second producer. On top of that, after I made my first video, guess what? People reached out to me that filled these roles that I didn't know. So I actually am aware of who Producer One and who Producer Two are, and this lines up perfectly with their roles, which was, of course, managing the social media at that moment in time. So these people, aka February 16th, at the end of that February 5th exchange, that the producer agreed to post the Tucker Carlson video tomorrow, aka February 16th, and we have a corresponding corresponding Tenet Media tweet of that exact video at that moment in time. So these people, the Russians, as in this PR firm that Lauren and Liam thought was handling the social media side of this, were messaged about hiring another producer, again, which makes sense if they were handling that and allowing them to hire people on their own side in order to manage their...
Producers 1 through 3 aren't supposed to be in on it. We know that, right? I can't even really tell what he's alleging. Producers 1 through 3, we know aren't part of the plot. They're just like people that are hired, right? What is the
side of things about salary and whatnot for this second producer? On top of that, after I made my first video, guess what? People reached out to me that filled these roles that I didn't know. So I actually am aware of who producer 1 and who producer 2 are. And this lines up perfectly with their roles, which was, of course, managing the social media. Although, to be perfectly fair, producer 1 had a broader role in terms of editing and whatnot without revealing any names. Now, there's also another thing that is a bit odd, in my opinion, and that, of course, is this June 2nd meeting with founder 1 and commentator 1 and this Edward Gregorian guy. Now, this is section 19 on page 15 of the indictment. On or about June 2nd, 2023, Edward Gregorian circulated an email to founder 1 and commentator 1's assistant scheduling a Zoom meeting for 5 p.m. Paris that day. In a prior email correspondence, founder 1 represented to another potential commentator that Edward Gregorian was based in Paris at approximately...
Actually fucking true. Crazy, dono, $10 from Jason Killian. Crazy the cope about the Russians from the people who repeat the big guy thing about the Bidens endlessly. True. That one phrase, the big guy, was apparently enough to prove an entire Burisma conspiracy that, by the way, still has no evidence for it. That entire Burisma conspiracy because of, quote, the big guy, end quote. But the Russians, I mean, could be anybody. How is he going to explain away this one? Oh, man, here we go.
Founder 1 represented to another potential commentator that Edward Gregorian was based in Paris. At approximately 8:58 Central Time that day, Edward Gregorian replied to his earlier email saying, quote, "I'm here, guys." However, the time in fact was 3:58 p.m. in Paris, but it was 4:58 p.m. in Moscow. Approximately 2 minutes later, Edward Gregorian performed a Google search for the time in Paris, and Edward Gregorian then replied again to his own email, quote, "Sorry, wrong hour, didn't sync the calendar." Now, this appears to show the Edward Gregorian guy, I will mispronounce that name 600 ways from Sunday by the end of this video, misrepresenting his location, not only to commentator 1, which was revealed to be Dave Rubin, but also founder 1. And there's no communication in this indictment where they're like, wow, we totally almost bungled that with the whole Moscow time thing. And if there is, it's just not present here. So it's interesting that this person would be misrepresenting themselves to both people and not emailing to clarify this with Lauren or Liam when they're supposedly in on the scheme. This appears to show the Edward Gregorian, to his own later, Edward Gregorian performed a Google search for the time in Paris, and Edward Gregorian then replied again to his own email, quote, "Sorry, wrong hour, didn't sync the calendar." Now, this appears to show the Edward Gregorian guy, I will mispronounce that name 600 ways from Sunday by the end of this video, misrepresenting his location, not only to commentator 1, which was revealed to be Dave Rubin, but also founder 1. And there's no communication in this indictment where they're like, wow, we totally almost bungled that with the whole Moscow time thing. And if there is, it's just not present here. So it's interesting that this person would be misrepresenting themselves to both people and not emailing to clarify this with Lauren or Liam when they're supposedly in on the scheme. So this is...
Well, I mean, if you have a scheme and you've established a third party to do these communications with, why would that third party who's like this is your like man in the middle persona, why would he expose himself like that? I don't understand. I have no idea what story he's even trying to construct here.
Section 28, which can be found on page 18, although it goes into page 19. It says, on or about May 31st, 2023, Kalishnikov created a private Discord server containing a channel initially comprised solely of Kalishnikov, Founder 1, and Persona 1. It was called, quote, the Investor Channel Discord. Kalishnikov employed the Discord username Kosta K, which includes a variant of his first name, Kostya, and the first initial of his last name, K. Approximately 38 occasions between December 2023 in or about January 2024, Kalishnikov's Discord account was accessed from a Moscow-based IP address that was also used to access Kalishnikov's personal Gmail account on approximately 10 occasions. According to Section 29, on or about June 21st, 2023, Founder 2 joined the Investor Discord channel, describing Founder 2's role as, quote, mostly helping with the company's back end of things, while Founder 1 focuses on more forward-facing aspects. In the Investor Discord channel, Founder 1 and Founder 2 and Persona 1 purportedly to act on behalf of Edward Gregorian, discuss major decisions for U.S. Company 1, such as the hiring of staff, contract negotiations with contributors, including Commentator 1 and Commentator 2, and payments to U.S. Company 1 and commentators. Kalishnikov monitored and occasionally participated in those discussions. So you have these people in the Discord. We have Persona 1, who is considered to be a contact point for the investor, and we also have Kalishnikov, who again is related to the Russian PR/marketing firm, whatever you want to call it, that the investors insisted that they hire for the social media side of the marketing. Well, this is where things get real dodgy with what the DOJ is claiming, because they're asserting, without accusing Lauren and Liam of actually committing a crime because they're not indicted, that they participated in the deception, and this is broadly being used as evidence by people on the internet.com, even though I don't don't think that this is sufficient evidence at all to make that case. Founder 2 also used the investor Discord channel to, among other things, submit US Company 1's invoices to Persona 1 and to press for payment of those invoices. For example, on or about September 11th of 2023 at approximately 8:07 p.m. Central Time, Founder 2 wrote in the investor Discord channel, quote, "Today marks 2 weeks since I submitted an invoice for August. Any idea for the delay? We are signing the large contracts and need to be certain we will get the funding to pay these people." Persona 1 did not immediately respond. While awaiting a reply from Persona 1, Founder 1 searched the current time in Moscow, specifically at approximately 8:50 p.m. Central Time, on or about September 11th of 2023. Founder 1 searched on Google time in Moscow. The time was in fact approximately 4:50 p.m. Approximately 3 days later, on or about September 14th of 2023, Founder 1 followed up in the investor Discord channel, writing, quote, "Hey, Persona 1, just wanted to follow up and see if your finance department has any update on the transfers." So this supposedly is the proof, the evidence, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that they knew for a fact that they were communicating with people in Russia. But the fact of the matter is, Founder 2 emailing them about payments, and then 43 minutes later, Founder 1 Googling the time in Russia as it compares to Central Time, to me, is not proof of anything. In fact, the way that people tell this story, it's like Liam sent this email and then Liam ended up Googling the time in Moscow, but that is just not the case. And in fact, it is not until 3 days later that Founder 1 ends up following up on this, when if Lauren was so concerned about this, why didn't she just send another email or communicate or reply them in the Discord at that moment in time? Why would she wait 3 days? It seems like they're trying to connect or link a bunch of different things that don't need to be connecting. On top of that, there are a multitude of reasons why you might want to, I don't know, try to Google the time in Moscow when you're working in the news media, and there's all this different stuff that is going on. On top of that, September 11th of 2023 is kind of a crucial date for Tenet Media, because that is the day that the channel was created on YouTube, and probably, very likely, a bunch of these different social media accounts associated were actually created. So if you have Liam getting prepared for the launch, trying to email the people related to the paying of the employees, which are representatives of this Edward Gregorian guy, and at the same time, they're creating the social media accounts, and then Lauren is looking at what time it is in Moscow, because those are the people who need to be managing those social media accounts, that wouldn't be unusual at all. And again, this is the evidence that they provide that Lauren and Liam were knowingly scamming people. Am I expected to throw away?
Well, he's half right, and he keeps saying one thing that's correct, but then he keeps going, this is the evidence that they're providing to say that they're knowingly scamming people. No, this is the evidence we have in the indictment for the two Russians. This is not an indictment for Lauren Chen and Liam Donovan, her husband. People in chat are asking, why do they call them Founder 1 and Founder 2? Because in an indictment, in a criminal indictment, you should only really include the information necessary for the parties that are being indicted, and that means not including extraneous names or anything like that. Wow, no red flags. I'll be shipping you your iPhone 15 Pro Max 512 gigabytes soon. Thank you for the purchase, friend.
Years of trust and friendship based on this? Now look, there's a lot of people who immediately when they saw this said Russiagate 2.0 or 3.0 and the DOJ shouldn't be trusted, but I will assert to the contrary that maybe they should. Maybe the evidence that they put forward in this indictment is legitimate. And when I talk about the evidence, I mean the actual.
And it's good because this evidence is real because it actually exonerates my friend. So it's real. We should trust them here because it's good evidence because it proves that my friends are all innocent.
Evidence, but what we shouldn't trust is their conclusions, their leaps, their interpretations of the evidence, because when you look at what's in here, you can make a more than reasonable case that both Lauren and Liam had no knowledge of this and they were also victims of this scam. On top of that,
it's not their indictment, right?
There's another very key portion of this indictment that often gets overlooked, and in fact, I highlighted it and put it on Twitter so people could check it out and tell me what they thought of it. That would lead me to believe that they were acting in good faith, and they might have been victimized and scammed in a similar way that the DOJ is saying that the content creators were victimized and scammed.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is this section right here. So on page 10, section 15C, it says as follows. On or about February 8th of 2023, Founder 1 reported to Persona 1 on Founder 1's outreach to Commentator 1 and 2. This, of course, is Dave Rubin and Tim Pool, respectively. Founder 1 advised that Commentator 1 said, quote, it would need to be closer to 5 million yearly for him to be interested, and that Commentator 2 said, quote, it would likely take 100K per weekly episode to make it worth his while. Founder 1 cautioned that, quote, from a profitability standpoint, it would be very hard for Viewpoint, which is the initial name for Tenet, to recoup the costs of the likes of Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 based on ad revenue from web traffic or sponsors alone. Despite Founder 1's warning that Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 would not be profitable to employ, on or about February 14th of 2023, Persona 1 informed Founder 1 that, quote, we would love to move forward with Commentator 1 and Commentator 2. So remember, what we're being told is that Lauren and Liam, people that I've known for years, people who have always been good to me, people who go out of their way to help creators when there's nothing in it for them, monetize themselves better, get better outreach and all that, we're actually working on behalf of the Russian government knowingly and scheming and lying to creators. But the thing is, if you know that your business is not a legitimate business, why are you emailing your interface with this Edward Gregorian guy about the profitability of these investments in these two creators as if it's a business? Obviously, it seems like based on this exchange right here, that Lauren Chen thought she was running a business, a legitimate business, and these people are misrepresenting themselves to.
Where's the, hold on. So it's important for your fronts to look legitimate, guys. Do you think this counts as blackface? If we think about it. This man in front of you, okay? Now, I know that you are assuming this is an African American, but it's not, okay? This is another undercover bonger. So, this is a limey, bloody Brit bonger fuck who is not only pretending to be American, he's impersonating an African American accent. Is he allowed to do that? Would we allow a white British man to do that? Oh shit, the white guy is a bonger too. This is whiteface and blackface. American face. Not acceptable.
More than enough to occupy me, really.
Fuck. There's a scene where he's like scolding his employees because they're not.
Forget everything.
Whatever, I can't find it. Fuck me.
To her, just as they are misrepresenting themselves to the content creators through her later on down the line.
It was at the top, elastic product. That clip was 22
Forget
seconds
everything
long.
the boy Bo.
I thought there was a longer one.
And by the way, if you think it should have been considered a red flag for her to warn them that it wouldn't be profitable, but they wanted to go in this direction anyway, I just want to point out that it is a type of business model that we've seen in digital media time and time again, where investors pump a bunch of money into a company, they hire a bunch of people knowing full well that the majority of them are not going to be profitable, they produce a ton of content in order to reel in an audience, and then once it's time to make the company profitable, they engage in a bunch of layoffs. And a lot of people make fun of it when it's Vice or BuzzFeed or any of these companies that have done that, but the fact of the matter is, that is the business model when you're operating with investor cash a lot of the time. You're not intending for things to be profitable right away, just like Fox News wasn't profitable for the first 5 years. The Blaze wasn't profitable for years. The Daily Wire likely wasn't profitable for years. This is a common practice in this particular industry. But again, Lauren warning them about the profitability of these two people seems like she thought she was running a business. Now look, despite the fact that I am biased in this, and I admit that, I care about both Lauren and Liam, like I said in my previous video, when it came to inviting people from the content creator world, they were first, not just for me, but for my wife to my wedding at that moment in time. So yeah, while I will accept actual tangible proof that they knew that they were scamming people if it were to come out later, the fact of the matter is, this ain't it. And
this isn't even an indictment for them, right?
No way, shape, or form am I comfortable with burning a friend, throwing them under the bus, throwing them to the wolves based on this nonsense in this indictment that could easily be read a different way to them being scammed as well, as is alleged with these other content creators. And I for damn sure am not comfortable with the fact that all of Lauren's channels, and by the way, Taylor Hanson's channel, were yeeted off of YouTube based on them being unnamed people in an indictment of other people, because I need to mention this again because some people don't get it. Lauren Chen and Liam, as of right now, have not been indicted. They're not accused of any crime. They're not charged with any crime. They are just under investigation. And yet all of their avenues of defending themselves in the public domain, generating income, have been slashed away from them by the Department of Justice based on this nonsensical lack of evidence. And yes, it is notable not to get into too many Department of Justice conspiracies that were close to an election, and this is the big juicy portion of their, we found all these Russian ops in the United States of America, because most of them were just websites that were like CNN Los Angeles that were obviously fake and nobody went to, or Twitter accounts or social media accounts like that, and this actually has names attached to it, so there is a desire to.
Okay, I'm bored. Don't care.